Now, after technical glitches delayed the start by 25 minutes, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis finally announced on Twitter's audio platform that he's running for US presidency. This, of course, setting up a clash with the current Republican primary frontrunner, former President Donald Trump. DeSantis, in his opening address to listeners, painted a dark picture of the country, saying that it is going in the wrong direction under Biden and urged Republicans to get behind him. DeSantis' decision to effectively share a stage with Musk, who purchased Twitter last year, was an unusual choice for a presidential aspirant. It spoke to his desire to win over right-wing activists that are increasingly prevalent on the side. But the technical failure at the top of the planned conversation set off a wave of mockery from Ron DeSantis' rivals. Here's a report.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis officially joined the race for the U.S. presidency on Wednesday. He released his first campaign video setting up a direct confrontation in the Republican contest with his one-time ally, former President Donald Trump.
And I'm running for president to lead our great American comeback.
However, the rest of the launch did not go smoothly. Twitter crashed repeatedly during a highly anticipated live audio chat between DeSantis and Twitter CEO Elon Musk.
Put his money where his mouth is, upset the narrative control.
The audio cut out and some users were dropped. At one point, it appeared that over 500,000 people tried to join. Elon Musk blamed the problems on the number of listeners on Twitter Spaces.
Right, we're just reallocating more server capability to be able to handle the load here. It's really going crazy.
The same service handled 3 million listeners for Musk's interview with the BBC last month. Twitter outages have become more common under Musk's ownership, as he laid off thousands of staff, including software engineers. Former President Donald Trump was gleeful over DeSantis' shaky Twitter launch, posting on his Truth Social account, "It was a disaster." In the months leading up to his presidential bid, DeSantis has toured the country, visiting states such as Iowa and New Hampshire that will hold early nominating contests, boasting of his record as Florida's governor.
We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Our state is where woke goes to die.
Which includes severely restricting abortions in the state and making it easier for residents to carry concealed weapons. He also kept up a protracted battle with Disney over its criticism of laws that banned the teaching of gender identity concepts in public schools. But DeSantis' decision to wait to enter the race may have cost him in the polls, as Trump has had ample time and space to attack DeSantis, while some allies may have grown frustrated, waiting for the Florida governor to step into the ring. Besides DeSantis and Trump, other declared Republican candidates include Nikki Haley, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, and Tim Scott, a U.S. senator from South Carolina.
So what's the view like within the Democrats and the Republicans? Let's try and get in a sense from both ends of the spectrum. And for that, I'm joined in by Corinne Clark, who's a Republican strategist, and Crystal Knight, who's a Democrat strategist. Both of them are joining me live right now. Many thanks to you, Crystal and Corinne. Corinne, if I could begin with you. Now, the pro-Trump groups for Make America Great Again, who are slamming this campaign launch already, calling it out of touch, are of course having a field day, as is Donald Trump with DeSantis' flop announcement on Twitter. How will such a launch play out with anti and pro-Trump supporters?
I saw that Trump responded immediately and said Ron DeSantis will run the country similarly to how he's running this campaign launch, which I thought was a pretty good burn. I think the campaign launch could have been a lot stronger. I do appreciate when presidential candidates try to utilize technology and try to be in touch with a younger generation. But interestingly enough, Ron DeSantis used this new platform with all of its glitches, and he used it exactly like he would have used any other platform that exists without glitches. He could have given this speech to Newsmax and got 10 million viewers. It was a canned, rehearsed soundbite. He could have given that exact same speech, had that exact conversation on a cable news network with 20 times the viewership and zero problems. So I think it was a flop. They had no contingency plan, and now we have a lot to make fun of that we didn't the day before. So bad news for him.
Fair enough. Crystal, let's also talk about the way Ron DeSantis has been politically posturing himself. He's trying to posture himself as someone being right of even someone like Donald Trump, that too on issues like abortion, even guns and immigration. How far can that work in the presidential race for DeSantis?
Absolutely not. Those are wildly unpopular policies across his home state, and they're unpopular across the country. When you think about what happened in the 2022 midterm elections with abortion, that is what propelled Democrats actually to do much better than what we projected or what we thought, particularly in states like Kansas and Michigan. And I don't see Ron DeSantis winning in those states. When we talk about immigration and the bills that he just signed, they're not only anti-immigrant, they're anti-human. They're akin to having codes, people being stopped on the street and checked for their, legality, which is something that we don't do in this country. And we think about the anti-DEI, the anti-education bills that he's passed. Again, these are not popular policies. He's only able to get away with this because he's the governor of the state of Florida. And so if Ron DeSantis believes that he will move out into a general primary or a presidential primary, touting the things that he's done in Florida, understanding that the American electorate does not believe in these things, he is destined to fail as soon as he gets started.
All right. Many thanks to you, Corinne and Crystal, for joining in with those precious inputs.